Bonjour! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten up your seatbelt and enjoy this journey into Muse World with Lamia Norbert.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Muse World. My guest today is someone who did a beautiful project for me. She's so talented. She's a professional photographer. Her name is Emma. Hi, Emma.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, I just need to put a side note is Emma made a dream come true for me. You were the one who helped me to kind of put forward something that was very important is embrace that message of accepting yourself. And you were able to portray everything and exactly the message I wanted to post online. And till now,
we did it together.
Yeah, it was
It was a collaboration.
Really, it was so nice because even the way that you made me feel so comfortable, it was beautiful. But we'll talk more about it in a bit. Okay. But I want to start with your early years. So where are you from originally? And talk to me a bit more about your childhood.
I'm from Waalwijk. It's like a small town in the south of the Netherlands.
Okay.
My childhood, wow. I don't know. Like I was having so many hobbies. As a kid.
Yeah.
Like a lot of sports, and I was doing professional musicals as well as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was doing piano classes, and I was dancing, and I was like doing hockey and swimming and football. I don't know, like my mom always had to like limit me to an amount of things that I could do. Yeah,
that's amazing. It sounds like me now.
Yeah, yeah,
it really sounds like me. And did you obviously for the people that doesn't know, I met you at Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So when did you know Muay Thai at that age or not?
No. Just later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after all of this, so tell me, what was the moment where you decided, or what made you actually want to move to Dubai?
I never wanted to move to Dubai. I think,
oh, really?
I don't know how to say it. It's like I was in my last year of uni and I had to graduate. And I had an internship already in the Netherlands for my final thesis and research and that kind of stuff. Okay. But then, like via, somebody contacted me who did my study before.
Okay.
And he did this internship in Atlantis here.
Okay.
And apparently he went to Dubai on a holiday and he met with the HR guy and he was like, dude, like we need to find somebody from the same background as you did. So he asked one of his teachers, who was my tutor, or like mentor teacher for a long time when I went abroad and everything as well before. And he was like, you have to ask Emma. I'm sure she wants to escape Netherlands again.
Yeah.
So then he sent me this message and I was like, well, I can just try.
Okay.
But he was like, it's a work internship. It's not going to be for your thesis. So you'll have to work 50 hours and then do your research and things just on the side.
Okay.
So he was like, I don't know, it's going to be hard, but just try.
Yeah.
So I wrote a letter and everything and I didn't hear back. And then one day I had a new apartment actually. And then I wanted to go to IKEA with my mom. And my mom was like, maybe just check with Atlantis first if they hire you or not, because why are we going to like buy new stuff, right? So then I called him and he was like, oh, nice to hear from you. Yes, we actually want to go ahead, but you need to be in Dubai in like a month. And I was like, oh my God, like, okay.
Really?
And I looked at my mom on the phone and my mom looked at me and she was like already crying because she knew I was going to leave again. And that was that. I was like, okay, yes, fine. And a month later, I went to Dubai. And like, I didn't have a vision of Dubai. I just liked what I knew from like Sex in the City, the Abu Dhabi one, for instance. Yeah. That was in my mind. So I was like excited to, go in this Arabic world. Yeah.
And what year was that?
That was 2017.
It's been a while then.
Almost 8 years now.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your perception? So when you first moved here?
I think it was, I don't know. Like I remember when I was driving to the accommodation because they picked you up, and I was looking outside, and I was like it's so much sand. Because Netherlands is so green.
Yeah.
We don't have any sand. And I was like, wow, it's so like dusty and sandy. But then when I got to know like the girl that I was meeting, she was also Dutch,
Okay.
and we discovered Dubai like in our weekends, and we had so much fun. And then I was like, wow, this is it's so different than what I had in mind.
Yeah, and then you never went back home?
No. Yeah.
So tell me more about, so you didn't start as a photographer. You started in what field exactly?
It was social media marketing.
Okay, all
So
right.
I did the socials for the restaurants.
Okay.
But that is actually also where I started to do photography at one point.
That's where you found your passion about photography.
So I did like an exchange for a few months with a university in Jakarta in Indonesia.
Nice.
And when I was there, I had Muay Thai for the first time, but I also had
Okay.
a course photography.
Okay.
That was like one of my courses there, and then so I learned the basics of like the shutter speed and the ISO and all that stuff. What kind of like made me like, okay, like the moment I have a camera in my hands, I'll try to see what I can do. And then in Atlantis, I just started shooting at one point myself. Like when it was service time, I went in the restaurants and shooting, and yeah, people liked it, so they actually posted it on the socials and everything. So
Did you fall in love right away with photography?
well, I always wanted to be in videography actually.
Oh, really?
So when I was in uni and stuff, I
Yeah.
wanted to do television or documentaries. So I
Okay.
always had a visual aspect that I wanted to do. And I think with photography, it felt easier because it's like a still image.
Yes.
And it's like, and I did some videos as well for Atlantis where I shot it, but I found photography more, I don't know. Like instead of one film, you have so many photos.
Yes.
And you could do so much more with it and tell so many different things with it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's what I liked.
Okay, and in regards to, so then once you started after your course, how long was that course for? Like, was it a long course or it was relatively quickly?
In Jakarta?
Yeah.
It was like 5 months of school. Yeah.
Okay, so then you are like a certified photographer.
No. It's like
Just a course.
Yeah, it was like in university, and I had, for instance, journalism, I had broadcasting, I had film.
Okay.
And then photography was one class.
Ah, okay. And then you were just doing that program then?
Yeah, it was for me, it was just the most amazing classes I could ever get.
Yeah, because you also get to travel as well.
Yeah, and it was so much fun, and like it was the thing that I wanted to do, like these things.
All right.
And in Netherlands, if you go to a normal university, like photography will never be one of your like curriculums, let's say.
Ah, okay. I hear you.
That was nice. Like my teacher, she was a photographer, and I was like, how the hell in one moment can you decide all these things? Because she was telling me about a photo, and then you have to know which shutter speed to use, and the ISO you have to change, and also your aperture has to be a certain way. And she was like explaining it, and I was like, how the hell, like,
do you do it? Like,
how can you think about all that in one moment when you take the photo? And she was like, don't worry, if you just do it, you'll get used to it.
And now do you?
And it's true, yeah.
Then now it's just like instant, right?
Yeah, it's like a second nature.
So now one thing I'm very interested, because obviously you kept doing photography as a hobby, as a, let's say, a part-time job, but your main job was in marketing, right? Yeah. So how do you manage to keep a balance of having a 9 to 5 as such, and then keeping this as a hobby? Like, how did you balance both?
Well, I think, I mean, like if I look back because it was mostly the last 3 years that I've done like proper photography next to the job that I was in. And I don't know, it was just always weekends or nights, or, you know, if you can work from home and you start a bit earlier and then you can do it end of day.
How did you actually start deciding like, oh, maybe I want to take people, and did someone approach you, or you just asked to do it by yourself?
So I started, I think, when I had my first camera, when I bought it, whenever I traveled, I took a lot of photographs, and that's what I put on my Instagram. And then I did this short documentary for this farmer, and I took some photos of him, portraits as well. So I think I just started to post that. And then a friend of mine, she used to have the social club.
Okay.
So where she, like small events. Yeah. And she asked me if I could come and take photos. That was like my first gig, I think, like the real one, yeah.
And how did you feel?
I mean, I liked it, but I was always like, for a long time, I was like, I rather not get paid, so there's no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So if I fuck it up, like,
It's not.
at
It's,
least somebody didn't pay me for it.
Yeah,
so
of
a long
course.
time I did a lot of things for free as well, because it just made me feel more chilled about it.
Yeah,
Until at one point I was like, okay, like I need to start charging. And
of course.
I mean, like, obviously I charged it way less in the beginning than now, but
Mhm.
yeah, I know, I just rolled into it by people asking me, I think.
It's so beautiful because I can actually see like how you still, because that's basically what I'm doing right now with the podcast. You know, it's managing my 9 to 5 job, and then whenever I have an hour free from work, I'm just like scooping out of the office and be like, hey, if my manager is seeing this, like, hey.
But it doesn't feel like work, right?
Exactly.
Because you love to do it.
Exactly. It's
so end of the week, when you worked 60 hours, it doesn't feel like it.
Exactly.
Because the extra 20 was like something
exciting,
passionate,
you know. It's like, I really, as much as I'm not gonna lie, there are times, and I understand what you mean about the charging point, because at the beginning, I until now, I think it still happened where I am anxious having guests on board, because I'm like, I hope that they like it, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to portray the person and not me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I hope the person is happy with the outcome and the conversation and all of that. So you get that little bit of stress, but you still enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like,
but you feel the pressure in the beginning.
Exactly.
Like me, I was nervous for every photo shoot. So nervous that I would like get really anxious sometimes. I couldn't see anyone the day before if I had a big job
Really?
that I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. Because then if I saw somebody, my head was not there because I was so stressed.
Yeah.
Now it's gone, thankfully.
Okay.
But I'm sure it will happen when maybe I'll have my first big editorial shoot for something, or with a celebrity, or I don't know, like something that's bigger than what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I'll have the same nerves. And I think that's normal.
I think I get what you mean completely, because I think, you know, how like the responsibility and the impact gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? But it's still, I feel like once you start it, afterwards you're like, it's okay. I'm in my element. I'm happy.
Yeah,
you know?
The moment I start shooting and like it turns out, I'm like, okay.
And obviously now you're officially a full-time photographer.
Yeah, what is weird? Like, I have imposter syndrome for sure. Like when people ask me what I do, now I have to say I'm a photographer. Like before, I never said that.
Yeah. And how do you actually, what made you decide to actually leave that 9 to 5 and take the leap of faith and going ahead being a full-time photographer?
I think I was waiting. I think I've been thinking about it for 2 years.
Okay.
But I was waiting for the, I don't know, like break-even point.
Yes.
Where I would feel if I take this step now, it's not going to give me any extra stress. It's going to take away stress.
Okay.
Because I think before, a lot of times I thought about it, but then I was like, it's too scary. And I wasn't sure enough of it. And I was like, it's just going to stress me out. And it's like too much. And now for the first time, I think I was, and like, the things were changing on work. I was getting a bit bored. I didn't have the excitement that I had before.
The spark, like we were talking about.
Yeah. And now I just felt like, it felt really like a release to take the step.
I hear you.
And that is something that, I think that is the most important.
And it's scary, right? When you send that resignation letter and you're like, okay, I'm resigning.
But that's the thing. It wasn't scary for me this
time.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
You just knew it was time.
Like she literally asked me the day before, like, what do you want to do? Because I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And she was like, think about it, my director.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally made up my mind. And the next morning I told her I resigned and I had like a month to still work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it didn't feel scary. Like, and I was glowing at the office. And everybody was like, you're way too happy. You just resigned. Like, what the hell? Why are you so happy? But I was just like this glowing ball of light. And I was like, yeah. And everybody could see it was the right decision for me to take it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I see you now. And I see, last time I saw you, it was at our photo shoot. You are glowing. You're way more glowing than
I have my glow up. Like, really
I feel like you have almost like a heaviness off your chest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like And I get what you mean, because you still have like that. It feels like you have that big suitcase that you need to carry, and
Yeah.
then finally when you let go and you're like, whew, okay,
Yeah.
now
And I
I'm-
felt like I had to hide my photography as well somehow.
yeah,
I don't know why. Like I felt like maybe at my work, I was afraid, like, what if they see that I'm doing so much photography,
oh, you
and they
thought
will
that,
they will have a thought about it,
Yeah.
like, you know, like she actually works for us or something like that. You know, like you
Yeah.
always have this.
because you feel like you belong to someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
I-
that's crazy to think about. That
know.
actually does mentally, it does that with you.
And I agree with you, because I feel like when mainly here in the UAE, obviously, I mean anywhere, I mean, I don't know in the Netherlands how it works if you work for someone, but
Mhm.
obviously you feel like you're almost owned by the company,
Your
because
time is owned. Your whole week is owned.
exactly, because you're sponsored by the company, and it's like you have a responsibility and you have tasks to do and you have to achieve, you have KPIs, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I owe you basically my work life,
Yeah.
you know?
And especially here, I think because your health insurance and your visa, everything is based on
exactly
the company that you work for.
Exactly. So that's so true.
Yeah.
One thing you mentioned, I'm really interested to know your opinion. You talked about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about that.
I don't know. It's just because I've been. So I think a lot of people that follow me on Instagram or that hired me for photography, they never knew that it was not my full-time job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
they
true.
thought I was a photographer.
Yeah.
But if I would talk with somebody and they would ask me, I would always say I work in marketing or I work for this company, and you know. And to now, I mean, like, yeah, to now that if anybody asks me, that I have to say I'm a photographer, is just a bit weird.
But yeah, you're still not, you're getting used to it, right?
Yeah, because I've been doing it both for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, even when I first met you, I don't know who told me, but someone told me, yeah, Emma is a photographer. And I was like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
And then
people don't know. Yeah.
exactly. And then it's later on, and I think it's later on, I must have been speaking with, who did a photo shoot with you? Maybe Sparsh. I think it was Sparsh.
Mhm.
And she was the one who mentioned to me that, no, you still work. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, really? Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't know.
exactly.
And they're like, what? You have a full-time job? I thought you were like full-time photographer.
Exactly.
And then other people are like, they know my job and they're like, how the hell are you doing both? So like, I don't know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I'm very intrigued about, and obviously I think now you've built your portfolio, you've built your clientele and all of this, but a question that I believe you must get now that you're a full-time photographer is like, do you think that this is sustainable for your living in Dubai, at least?
Yeah, for sure.
You see like you're content with the choice you made, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So you wouldn't go back to 9 to 5?
Oh my God. I'll get nightmares thinking of that.
I think
No.
you feel that sense of freedom, right?
Yeah.
Of like,
yes. Like for me, to wake up and not have to think about emails or going to an office, like, and some, like in the beginning, that I remember the first week, it felt a bit weird. And I had a week where I had no shoot. So far, only 1 week, thankfully. But in that week, I got bored, and then I got a bit anxiety of like,
what do I need to do?
yeah, is like something gonna come up, or like, am I gonna be able to do this? So these thoughts, they creep in your mind.
Okay.
But then somebody calls me and I have another shoot planned, and I know that income-wise, I'll be good until end of the year already, like that's settled. And then in January, I have things already. So I don't know,
you line up, you organize yourself for the...
Yes, yeah.
And also, I think it's also about being proactive as well and keeping up to, like, okay, scheduling and organizing. Okay, what's the next step? What's the next step?
Yeah. And now I'm more available for people as well, so it's easier.
Yes.
Like before, a lot of shoots I could only do in the weekend. So now it's also opening more opportunities.
For your customers and all of that.
Yes.
Tell me something. How do you do to capture the right moment? You have an eye for taking pictures. I am always like in awe whenever I see your pictures, not just of what you like with my pictures, when I saw them, I was like, yes, she understood exactly the message I was trying to do. And it was so funny because that day, I remember I bought a whole suitcase of clothes, but with the 3 clothes that we chose to go forward with was exactly the messages that I wanted to go forward with. And it's just the moment how you are able to, first of all, one thing is you made me feel so comfortable.
That's I think that's most important, what I try to do. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think this is something that people need to understand. Like, even though, like, yes, obviously I am recording and yet I'm used to seeing cameras, but taking pictures and just like allowing yourself to be without being too rigid and being like, okay, do I smile? Do I move?
Yeah.
But it's so smooth. What's your trick?
I don't think it's a trick. I think it's like, so I had days as well where I did all the headshots for this big corporation. I did like 35 people in one day.
Wow.
And I just realized end of the day that so many people are hating the taking of pictures.
Yeah.
But if you're just making it like not serious, because like what we talked about before we started recording is like the fact that what we're doing is not saving lives, right?
Yes.
We doing something that's fun.
Yes.
So I just try to make people feel like it's not that important, or like it's the moment should be good.
Enjoy
and then
the
the photo will be good.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, your eye, guys, I invite you. Obviously I will tag your Instagram, but it is incredible. Like, I'm still like in big awe, and even not just me, but like every pictures that you take, it sends a message, you know. Do you plan beforehand, before, like, ahead of time, when you're gonna have, let's say, a photo shoot with someone, or you just go with the flow on that day?
I'll try to have, I'm always thinking about the shoot already, like days before. And like whenever I'm cooking or in the shower or something like that, like it's always in my mind and I'm thinking of stuff. I actually had it with a friend that I shoot last week, that mostly when I'm driving to the shoot,
Yes.
the most things come in my head.
Okay.
And then when I'm driving, I'm texting him like, don't forget this and this and this. And then he's like, I'm already on my way. Like, why, why now? And I'm like, it's always in these moments that I get
It
more
pops up,
ideas.
right?
Yeah. So it's not like I'm sitting and I'm gonna make a full mood board and stuff, but I think the shoot is just in my mind and things come and go, and I'll keep the ones that I think will work.
I hear you.
And I do make Pinterest boards as well, obviously. Yeah.
We had a shared Pinterest board.
Yeah.
I think
it's a good way to get kind of aligned on the visuals.
And so, for example, now that you are in full time, run me through like how a potential shoot day would look like for you. I'm intrigued to know, like, okay, so do you shoot, like, you can have 2 shoots a day, or do you do 1 shoot for one individual per day?
I try to keep it 1 per day, because I don't want to, I don't know, I've never done 2 shoots in the same day, I think. Because the whole day, my head will be in 1 shoot.
Okay.
So I think it will be very hard to do 2 different shoots in 1 day.
Okay.
Even if it's just 2 hours, or even if it's a full day shoot, or even 1 hour.
Yeah.
I think my mind is like so thinking about that one.
Yeah.
It will be hard to have both.
Yeah. And so based on that, what would you say would be, based on all the pictures and you've done and all the session you had, what would you think for you personally, what was that photo shoot that marked you? Like, what is that one picture that you're like, that is absolutely my favorite one?
I don't know. Like, I think I enjoyed a lot of my street photography as well.
Okay, yeah.
Where you're literally, you don't have to set anything up.
Yeah.
And you just let the moment come and you just shoot it.
Yeah.
And then end of the day, I would go through the photos and I would get this, like, I don't know, like faces that I shot, and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be that close, but it's such a good photo.
Yes.
Without a person knowing. I don't know, but like the one that marked me, I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Really?
It's so hard, yeah.
Your top 3.
Top 3.
I'm trying.
Well, I think the shoots that I did for Hakaya, for a magazine that I did for Sharouk in Sharjah, was my one first editorial thing, and we had models coming and we had different environments and they were dressed up a certain way, and we just had to move around the space and take all these photos, and I think I really enjoyed that,
Yeah.
to have this new location that you have to show, but then also the model in a certain way, and everything comes together in one photo.
And you went to Mauritius. I saw your pictures in Mauritius.
I went, yeah.
It was, when you posted your stories, I was like, why do I feel like I know these beaches? Because you didn't put any location. I was like,
Yeah.
I know this beach.
Yeah.
It looks very familiar. And I was like, oh, she's in Mauritius.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy the street pictures that you took. Now, obviously, there are good days, but there's also bad days.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think for you, ever since you started obviously taking like photography as a full-time job, what do you think a bad day would look like for you so far?
A bad day, I don't know, like,
Do you have bad days?
not yet. But it's only been a month, so
Yeah.
I don't know. They say as a freelancer that you can feel on top of the world and you can feel like really shit. But I haven't experienced that yet, because until now things go pretty smoothly and I'm pretty chilled. But I think sometimes I'm editing a video and I'm just not having the inspiration. Or when I look back at the footage and I'm like, I'm not sure if I took everything out of that shoot,
Yeah. And
how
do you deal with this then?
I just leave it for the next day.
Really?
Because in that day I know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So you need to kind of take a break and then go back to it. And
and the same with photos. Like sometimes I edit them at night and I'm like, oh my god, I nailed the color grading, and then the next day you look at them and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? So you need to take these days in between and like relook at your stuff before sending it, because I did send stuff before to people and I'm like, afterwards I'm like, shit, I wish
you didn't send it.
Yeah, I took like another 2-3 days to actually make it perfect. Yeah.
In terms of like, obviously, like you mentioned, like you take a day off and all of that. But for me, I'm wondering, what would be your biggest inspiration in terms of photography?
I think I really like to see other photographers work.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
What would be your, like, do you have any, like, someone that inspires you particularly that you look out for?
I don't even know the names, but I just like, because they're not like the most famous photographers out there, but just some photographers. Like one, I think her name is Maria. She's also here in Dubai.
Okay.
And I love her work so much. Like it's so, and I just, I would love to meet her one day and just, or maybe shoot with her someday and learn from her.
Okay.
Because I'm still new, I think, and I can still learn a lot from other photographers. So I try to look at their work and then think of like, how did they do this with the lights or the setup or the model? There's a lot of photographers. One is Joyce. She's a French one, but she lives in LA.
Okay.
She does these incredible shoots with this wide lenses with fashion. And I'm like, I really want to do that kind of shoot here. Yeah.
And do you have a specific shoot, or are you just like open to anything? Like, do you have how do you call it? A style?
A style. I don't think I have a style. I do think I'm doing a lot of too many different things at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to get it back to doing 1 or 2 types of photography.
Okay.
And more, I would love to do more fashion, for instance, or get more into editorial things.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm still doing a lot of events and engagements and that kind of stuff. And I do like it. I love it. But I think at one point I do want to focus on
these two.
On one kind of photography.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously you're based in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your plan? What's next? What are we expecting?
I don't know.
We go
you
with the
tell
flow.
me.
You go with the flow.
Where do you see me going?
Big.
No.
Big. I've seen your pictures and I'm like, and every time I'm like watching you, like I take time. Usually people may not know, but when I go on Instagram, I usually just like go on story, next. You are one of the rare people that I pause and I'm actually
Really?
looking and I'm like, oh, I like that. Like, I like that. Because I really
so
enjoy
cute.
it because I feel like every picture has its very own message.
Mm-hmm.
And like the street pictures that you took in Mauritius, it's just like, I'm like, wow, she caught the right moment at the right time and she took that picture and it was just like beautiful. Like there was one, for example, that I really liked. It was on the bus stop. I was like, damn, she got it. Like she got it at the right. That was so nice. And even the editing with the colors and everything, I was like, that is so beautiful.
I only shot out of a car when we were driving.
Really?
Actually. And for the rest, I didn't bring my camera much. Yeah.
That is crazy. Can you imagine? Off the car.
It was the same in Egypt. Like, but there it was easier because there's so much happening on the street and you're in a taxi.
Yeah.
And I could just shoot anyone and anything that was happening without someone seeing me.
So out of all the countries you've been, what do you think was the country you enjoyed the most in terms of photography? And
I liked Jordan a lot when I went there. Because we went to Petra and the sea and everything and the Wadi Rum, the desert. So I think like that was really nice. And Egypt as well. It was just, I mean, like these places, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
But I remember in Indonesia, I had my iPhone 7.
Yeah.
And I was sitting always on the back of the Gojek, what is like this motorcycle taxi.
Yeah.
And that's where I started actually. I was always photographing everything that was happening around me. I was so amazed, but in these places, like literally any street has like 100 stories that are happening in the same moment. It's not like Netherlands or Dubai where it's a bit more like, it's here, there's not much to photograph, I believe, like too much that's happening on the street.
Exactly. And I think also here, it's like once, for example, you get the iconic places like Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab, Atlantis, then afterwards, there's not much you can do.
I think the most like the best place to do photographs is Deira. Yeah. And Old Dubai.
Yeah, that's true actually, because that's when you have like a lot of people. There's a lot of things happening on the streets.
So much happening.
So you can
and people look so different.
I know.
Everybody has their own style, and it's like this craziness. You know?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so nice.
Well, honestly, I'm really excited to see what's next for you. And I need to plan another photo shoot with you.
Yes, let's do it. Let's make you a model.
Yes.
So you can quit your 9 to 5.
Exactly. You never know. Yeah. That could actually happen.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I always thought that you had to be a size to be a model. You had to look a certain way to be a model. You had to be XYZ. But you just proved me wrong, actually. You know, you just showed me and that's one thing that I really like about your work. It's that you portrait everyone's uniqueness through the lens, you know? You show and you prove that everyone has their own beauty. And that is one of the most beautiful message and magical powers that you have.
Aww.
Oh, so I really like that.
But what did you get? Like, why did you want to go into modeling? What do you like about it? Because there's so many people that I come across that really are like, they hate themselves on photos. They cannot look at it.
Yeah.
Because they are not used to it. And but for you, I found that you were also very confident and you like yourself on photos, and it's very rare.
But you know that
it's a good trait, but it's...
You want to know the truth. It's actually very fake. It's a confidence that I push myself to be confident. To be real and honest with you, I am someone who struggled a lot with my appearance and how I look. I am very critical. Even when I started the podcast, the first couple of episodes I was releasing, I was super critical about the way I looked, about how my hair was. Even there was one episode, my necklace was entangled. I was like, shit, I should have checked it before. I'm very, very critical. And I think that's also because I was overweight before. And like, you know, we talked about it. I told you I had like obviously eating disorders and all of that. So I have never been very confident in my skin, and I always thought, oh, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
And there are more beautiful women out there. Why me?
Okay.
And it started when I understood that, listen, I have my own beauty and I need to accept it. It was actually a very pivotal moment for me when I was in the UK. It was just, we were out of our first lockdown. And during lockdown, it was a very important moment because my mom she was basically stuck with me. She came for my graduation, and a week after she came, lockdown happened. But I was fresh off a very toxic relationship. I was trying to stay in the UK. It was not happening. So there was a lot of hardship happening in my life.
Yeah.
And I was very gloomy. That bubbly person that I was completely gone. And I still, till now, I remember I had a very strong argument with my mom. And bear in mind, you're in a studio in London, super small.
Yeah.
There's not much you can
Your lip to lip, yeah.
You're like literally like here.
God.
And we had that intense conversation where she told me things straight to my face. She was like, you are so beautiful. And the reason why I'm shouting at you is like, you don't understand how, not just physically, but from the inside, you have such a beautiful soul. So, and she didn't really understand everything that happened with my ex. She just knows what I told her.
Yeah.
And it was that moment that I kind of realized that, okay, maybe I should accept myself a little bit more. So when lockdown was off, the first lockdown was off.
How old were you now?
That was 20. I must have been 26. It was around, like, I was,
just when COVID started.
Yeah, 20. It was 2020. Well, yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago.
Yeah. So whole time before your 26th.
It was bad. Like I honestly, like you would see every pictures I would take will always be a profile picture, a side picture.
Yeah.
I would never be able to take a front picture and look at myself straight. Always struggle with that.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it's we went to the mall and then there was this offer about photoshoot happening. And randomly my mom was like, this is gonna be your birthday gift. Go do a photo shoot. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign you up. And I was like, all right, good. That day I had the knot in my stomach. I was just not comfortable. I didn't know what to bring, what to wear. We had 3 outfits and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do.
And that's horrible. It should be like a fun experience.
Exactly.
People are so afraid.
And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And then me and my friend, we went to the studio and we did the photo shoot. And then there was my one picture that I enjoyed the most. It was actually a picture where the photographer made a joke because I wore those shirt dresses, but obviously I had a short on. And he made a funny joke about it. He's like, I hope you're not naked because, we're taking pictures like you. And I just laughed. I was like, don't worry, I would never do that. And then I just laughed and he just snapped that picture. When I looked at it, I was like, wow.
Nice.
That is beautiful. Like I sat with that picture for a minute. And for the people that don't know, that's actually the logo of my...
Oh, that one, yeah.
That's the cover of my podcast.
Yeah.
Because that picture was such a genuine laugh. And that was the first time that I was like, you're actually beautiful.
Yeah.
In all these years, that was the first time that I looked at myself and I said, you're beautiful.
And you could see what other people could see.
Exactly.
Right?
So it was hard for me to understand that. Over the years, obviously, I came back to Dubai, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to accept myself without makeup. I was always putting going out without makeup was like one of the biggest, I think, challenge.
I had the same.
It was so hard for me. And I think when I finally kind of not decided, but understood that I had to be comfortable with it was when I traveled to Bali with the girls. We went to Bali and obviously most of the activities was outdoor activities. I didn't have time to put makeup and all of that. Plus it was hot. So I was just going barefaced. And I still like if you look at my Bali pictures, all my favorite ones are always the ones where you don't see my face. because
Your feet.
yeah, you see like a side, you see like
Yeah.
something very far, because
Yeah.
I was criticizing every inch of my body.
Yeah.
And then over time, when I understood that, I had to overcome it,
Yeah.
that's when I reached out to you and I was like, okay, let's do it. And I'm someone who was used to always have makeup on, your hair have to be in point, everything needs to be in point. And when you suggested let's put water in your hair, I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was hard for me to even look at the pictures of at some there was a moment where I was like, oof, okay.
Oh.
But afterwards I was like,
I felt you were so confident. You were like, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. And I was like, wow, like and it's very rare, like especially I feel like women from our generation,
Yes.
what I see if I do these corporate shoots as well, all the girls are like, they hate themselves on photos when they're gorgeous in real life.
Exactly.
And I always
Exactly.
tell them, like, just trust me, you look good on this photo. And this is how we see you.
Yeah.
But it's just because we are only used to the mirror. We're only used to our selfie phones. So we always see us swapped.
Exactly.
You never see yourself the other way. And then you see yourself the other way and you're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
I once had a guy on the shoot and he was like, can you swap my face, please?
No way.
Because he was like, I want to see what it looks like because I hate myself like this. And I'm like, but this is what you look like. This is you. Like, this is how we see you.
And it's funny because that's when you realize how we as human beings are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be hard to other people. We would say to other people and we would acknowledge that, hey, that person is gorgeous. That person is beautiful.
Yeah.
But to us,
we're so hard on ourselves.
Exactly.
Like even me, I've been struggling with my weight and everything since I can remember. I always felt I have to lose weight. I was never happy with my body.
Exactly. It's
even when I look back at the photos now, when I was 16 and I was like a very normal body, but I always felt like I was too fat. And it's like just this crazy thing that then only 5 years later, you look at these photos and you're like, this is actually a good photo.
Exactly.
When in the moment you think it's bad.
Exactly.
But only after a few years, you're disconnected from yourself in that way that you can see your beauty.
Exactly.
From them.
And honestly, it's after when you send me all, like when I saw afterwards the pictures, and after the photo shoot, that's when I realized, I even cried after the photo shoot.
Really?
I was very emotional after the photo shoot because for me, it meant a lot. And it felt like that was the day when I fell in love with myself. And this is the most beautiful message that you can give to yourself.
100%.
It's so easy to give love to people and provide love and be kind to people. But very often we forget to give that to ourselves, And that's literally the day I would say now I feel like I would be confident without faking it. Like I would be like, okay, let's do it. Like I really enjoy it. I can't wait to do it. And I see people and I'm like,
such a breakthrough.
Exactly.
After so many years.
It took time, but it happened.
It's for me now as well. Like sometimes, like last time I was on shoot and I had my assistant take some portraits of me just to see the light and just for me to also, because I want to accept myself as well. But it's really hard.
Of course.
Because I look at the photos, I'm like, I look so dull. Like I look so, ugh. And then I post them and then people are like, oh my God, it's so nice. And I'm like, no. Like in my mind, I also I try to do it with myself as well. And I try to tell people on shoot as well that it's the same for us all.
And now how do you see yourself?
I mean, in the mirror, I'm fine. But then on photos, I'm still like, I don't know. I find it hard still.
You still find it hard?
Because I don't have my photo taken. That's why I'm behind the camera.
Yeah.
It's better like that.
Would you ever allow someone else to take pictures of you?
I mean, depends how. In what setting?
You are the model.
I don't know. I don't consider myself photogenic, so I don't think I don't know.
I get what you mean, but you proved us wrong though.
When?
Because for example, I feel like all your model are very unique. You don't need to be potentially photogenic. Like you are able to portray everyone's beauty.
Yeah, that's true.
Each pictures, and it's beautiful.
Maybe I should do it to not as a model, but just to have a photo shoot.
Exactly.
To see how it feels to be on the other side.
Exactly.
More. Yeah.
I think that would be a nice experience for you. Because honestly, if it wasn't for you, I think I would till now I would still struggle with my the way I look and like that whole self-love moment.
Hmm.
And I knew that it impacted me because I talked about it for month and month and month and month until now it's still one of my 2024 highlights, one of my in my top threes, I would say this is one of them. Definitely.
Wow.
Because this is the one that impacted me the most. And it's funny because people would think, oh, but she just went for a photo shoot for an hour and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's much more
was
to
much
it.
more. Yeah.
It's a deeper message.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Well,
should
as a
say-
friend, but also as a photographer, it feels like I'm happy to hear that.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think, I think that's what I would love to do more is to, because I remember in the beginning of my photography, I was shooting a lot of men.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at my Instagram feed, it's like men. And now, thankfully, it's mostly women.
Yes.
And I love that because I like to make women feel beautiful about themselves and
Yeah.
see their beauty.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucked up that we are struggling with all these things.
Exactly.
And we look at our photos and we're like, ugh, like this is shit. When actually, like the photos are beautiful and it's like how
Exactly.
somebody looks.
Exactly. And I think
So weird.
society has impacted us a lot.
I mean, look at all the filters.
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it to post a selfie without filter on it these days? Because you're so
Actually, yeah.
used to seeing yourself with a filter.
100%. And actually, let's do something. You know what? I am going to ask anyone who's watching this video and listening to this podcast. I'm going to ask all of you to take one selfie with no filter. A proper selfie, guys, not a side selfie that I do myself. A proper selfie, no makeup, nothing, just a really raw pictures of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to post that on Instagram. You're going to tag me as well. You're going to tag Emma. And let's do a hashtag.
Let's do it.
What's a hashtag that could...
Hashtag love yourself. I don't know.
Love yourself.
This is me.
This is me.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. So, guys, anyone listening, we're putting it
Let's do
out
it.
there because I think this would be such a good movement.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask every one of you, take a selfie of yourself. Front selfie, guys. No side selfie. Front selfie. No makeup, girls. No filters. Raw face with a beautiful smile. Tag me as well. Tag Emma. And the hashtag is this is me. And I will be reposting every single pictures on me as well to just send you a message that you are beautiful the way that you are.
And I think what I want to do is
Yes.
anybody who does this, I'll hire the studio for like 2 hours.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot them without makeup for free.
Oh, that's amazing.
I will make them even feel more beautiful, right?
That's so
Let's
beautiful.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
So guys, I'm going to open this until let's say January.
Yeah, let's give them for the rest of the year. Yeah.
And let's give you
Whenever
this
they
will-
feel comfortable.
Exactly. So no
Then-
pressure. I'll give you guys until probably end of January. January, wow.
Or 1st of Jan.
1st of Jan.
And then the new year in January, we're going to do the shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Perfect.
let's
So
do that.
1st of Jan, guys, all the reposted pictures that I will get, I will reach out to every single one of you. We'll book a day with Emma and we'll do a beautiful photo shoot. And that will be such an amazing message.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Empowering each other. I think
Exactly.
it's very
That's
important.
so important.
Yeah.
And it's so nice because it's, I think this is the moment where everyone is getting ready for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, I'm like already like all set up. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to do. This
you
is
have
what-
a list. You're
I
ready.
do have a list. And this one is a very strong, powerful list that I have.
Mhm.
I decided that, you know what? It's that next year is the year that we're going to take action. We're going to take over all these fears because this year I feel like I've learned from my fears
Mhm.
and I've learned a lot of. This year has been a bit of a revelation year for me where I've seen all my fears coming kind of on top and I had to kind of go through it and understand. And
Mhm.
it was nice at the same time, uncomfortable, but nice.
Yeah.
So now I'm ready. I
You're
feel
ready.
like I've learned enough for 2024,
Amazing.
and now I'm like
You
let's-
can share this light with the other women.
yes,
right?
Yes. So there will be an episode it will be either the last episode of the year or the first episode of the year. I'm still deciding.
Mhm.
And I'll be putting out there my goals. And then let's see, whoever wants to join me, let's do it together. We're a team.
Amazing. Manifest.
Manifest, people. We are. I'm working very hard on that, by the way. Manifestation. Yeah, this is something.
What are your ways?
I realize it's a lot about the way that I talk. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, the day that I will. No.
When?
I will
Mhm.
be X. I will do this. I
Yeah.
am getting this. Because
Is it when you talk to yourself or to other people? Or both?
even to whoever, because I feel like the discourse that you have even with other people does impact also what you're attracting and what you're saying.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of episodes that I've done with people who talked about manifestation, and they made me understand. And even Erica, who is now doing a special course about hypnotherapy, and
Is she?
yes, she's gonna come
Wow.
as soon as she's graduating. She's gonna come back on
So
the.
she can do it on us?
She can do hypnotherapy.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
In the future, she will be doing hypnotherapy sessions.
Wow. Maybe we should collaborate.
Yes.
We hypnotize the people. We take them on shoots.
I love that.
And we change the whole way they look about themselves.
Yeah, because it's a lot about mindset.
Erica,
We put you on the line right
yeah,
there.
let's do that.
Because honestly, she helped me a lot to understand that the way I speak to myself is really bad. And even unknowingly, it's subconscious because your brain is wired in such a way that you kind of speak to yourself like that. And for you, it's absolutely normal. But for someone who actually is listening to the way you speak, they tell you, no,
Yeah.
you should. And she corrects me all the time. And she's like, no, you are on the way there.
Yeah.
You will, it's not what if. Remove those if and buts.
You have to pretend like you talk to your kid.
Exactly.
Inside of you.
Exactly.
Like
That's very important.
Little girl, yeah.
Exactly. So,
yay.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so beautiful. Guys, reminder, selfie, bare face, no makeup, tag me as well, tag Emma. This is me, #. You have until the 1st of January. And
we'll do a beautiful shoot.
Yes.
After. Yeah.
That would be beautiful.
Yes.
Emma, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's really
Honestly,
nice.
I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I look forward. And
we're going to shoot soon again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. And this time I won't fake it. It will be a real confidence.
I can't believe you faked it.
Yeah.
You're so good.
You have no idea how much I was like, okay.
I fell for it. God damn it.
I was like, you got this. You can do this.
I was like, okay. Like I was like, yeah.
Hi.
You looked so confident, honestly.
Fake it till you make it.
God damn, girl. Okay. I wish I could do that.
Now, no more faking. Now we're real, authentic, and raw. This is raw. That's what we like.
Good.
So, before I say goodbye to you, I have a tradition.
Oh yeah.
My rapid fire question. They're very easy. Some are a bit deep. Some are a bit that will ask you to think. But they are rapid fire questions.
Okay. Let me go sit for this.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Favorite subject to photograph?
Humans.
Go-to camera or lens?
Sony. Natural
light or studio light?
Oh, that's a hard one. Studio light.
Dream photo shoot location?
I don't know, some crazy mountain somewhere.
Okay. Oh, I asked you this already, unfortunately. Most memorable photo shoot? We talked about that.
You know how hard.
Editing software you can't live without?
Lightroom.
Favorite time of the day to shoot?
Sunset.
One word to describe your photography style?
Story.
If you weren't a photographer, what would you be doing?
TV presenter, I guess.
Nice.
I used to do it before. In uni, yeah.
I love that. Most challenging thing about being a photographer?
Making people feel okay about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best advice you've ever received?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. To I don't know, that failing is always a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tea or coffee during editing marathon?
Coffee.
Dubai skyline or desert dune? What do
Desert.
you... Yeah, desert.
Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
good. One thing you miss about your 9 to 5 job?
Free lunch. And my colleagues, obviously, if they're watching.
Your favorite photography trend right now?
Photography trends.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know much about trends, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ditch that one. What's always in your camera bag?
My lens, all my lenses. Yeah.
Okay. First thing you do after a long photo shoot?
Cuddle my cat.
One skill every photographer should master.
I think storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next on your photography bucket list?
Editorials like Vogue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my last question, which is my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
One advice that you could give to your younger self?
Set your boundaries, especially in relationships.
I love that.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, for next year, I have some plans. I will tell you more about it outside camera because it's still a secret. And
Okay.
that's good that you mentioned about relationship.
Oh, okay.
You'll see. We've got some stuff
we
planned.
can talk about that.
We got some stuff planned for 2025, guys.
Oh, God. Tell me. Give the viewers a little bit.
There won't be one people. There won't be one guest. There will be maybe 2 guests.
Oh.
And there'll be one overall topic
Nice.
that will be discussed.
Love it.
That's it. Let's see. I'm
Spill the
planning,
tea.
working on it. I don't want to overpromise, but that's the idea for 2025.
Sounds like fun.
Yes. Emma, thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you,
a
Mia.
pleasure having you. Where can we find you? Instagram?
Instagram, my website, you can put it as well.
Yes. I will put everything in the description box. Once again, I'm going to repeat myself a last time, guys. Don't forget, we're doing a movement, all right?
Yeah, we just decided.
We just decided. But that was not planned, but
No.
we just decided.
Yeah.
We're going to do a movement, and the hashtag is This Is Me. You tag me and Emma. The purpose is to do one selfie, front selfie, no makeup, no filters, just a raw picture of you smiling. And anyone that does that, I will repost you on my stories on me as well. And at the end of the year, so 1st of Jan, I will get in touch with Emma and we'll organize a 2-hour photo shoot that will be for free. And will be for putting you in the light. You'll be here modeling.
Yeah. Making you more comfortable and happy with yourself.
Exactly.
Show your beauty, you know?
Exactly.
Talking about smiling, you know how many people hate their own smile?
Yep.
And it breaks my heart every time.
Me too.
So
we're going to change that.
Yeah.
We're going to change that, guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure having you.
So nice. Yeah.
Looking
Good
forward
talks.
for the next...
Whatever's
next to come.
happening. Yeah. Whatever comes our way. For you as well.
Thank you.
I hope you can ditch your 9 to 5 soon.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best.
Yes.
Guys,
You too, babe.
on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.